We're live. Good morning, everyone. Let's call the August 3rd, 2026 LAFCO meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Becker,
Present.
Commissioner Willis.
Here.
Commissioner Aguirre is absent. Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
Commissioner Browning is absent. Commissioner McKenzie. Commissioner Whitburn is absent. Commissioner White.
Present.
Alternate Commissioner McCann.
Present.
Alternate Commissioner Drake.
Yeah, present.
Alternate Commissioner Montgomery Stepp is absent. Alternate Commissioner Delaney. Alternate Commissioner Von Wilpert is absent. So alternate Commissioner Delaney will vote in place of Commissioner Browning, who is absent. And there is a quorum with 6 voting members present, and the meeting was called to order at 8:17 a.m.
Thank you. All right, Vice Chair Willis, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
Let me begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's begin here with a review of today's agenda. Mr. Simons, is there anything you would like to touch on?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Commissioner. So no changes to the agenda. Everything that was posted last Monday is holding. That means you have quite a few items on consent and then 4 open session items, 2 on hearing and 2 on business calendar. And then we do have 1 closed session item. Just want to remind everyone that we are again trying our tent procedure. So if you want to get the attention of the chair, just raise that up in absence of a more sophisticated button system. And then I know we did have, thank you, Commissioner Delaney. Practices are always encouraged.
Can we ever give any feedback on this?
This is getting a lot more feedback than I thought. This was staff, bright, yeah, gets everyone's attention. But what I'm blanking on what I was going to say. Supplemental correspondence. I believe we had a piece of supplemental correspondence. I know we posted it online. Did we pass out copies on the dais? Yeah, so just for the benefit, we do have some supplemental correspondence on agenda item 6A, but it was posted and I believe it was transmitted to all the commissioners on Friday, correspondence from the city of Oceanside to the commission. So with that.
Commissioner McKenzie, did you get a copy of that?
He's practicing.
Just that one item. That was all the supplemental correspondence we got. So Chair, we're good to go.
All right, very good. Okay, let's go ahead and take non-agenda public comment. This provides an opportunity for anyone who would like to comment on something that is not on today's agenda, but is within the purview of LAFCO. Do we have any public comment now that our clerk is busy over there? Anything online? I don't see anything here, but we might have something online, so I'll just take a second. If she could run and
There is a hand raised from Teddy Jackson. If you would like to speak.
Teddy, are you there?
Second, sorry.
Are you there, Teddy?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. Good morning, LAFCO commissioners, Chair Becker. My name is Teddy Jackson. I'm here this morning to talk about public comment and also on, I believe, item 5C, which is my understanding maybe the first time that the Aldea Escondido project is listed on your agenda. So I've been there a few times to testify in person. I live in a rural part of Escondido where we were surprised to learn of this project that arose a couple of years ago. And have been doing a deep dive. We started Protect Rural Escondido. In the last year, we've gained hundreds of members, and we have garnered hundreds of petitions, because this is an unbalanced project trying to be stuck in an urban sprawl way into a pocket that is left in a rural community. So we want housing, but this is not the right place for the type of housing that Aldea is trying to put here. And it's really unfortunate that these types of things require so much effort on the public to learn, to understand, to oppose, to work with all of our leaders on. Transparency has just been something that has not been evident the last year from any party. The developer has not been forthcoming that they have every intention of the world to develop the Birch parcel across the street. They only talk about the Birch Avenue parcel. Excuse me, they never talk about the Idaho Avenue parcel, which has even graver plans in store for it, according to documents obtained from a public records request at the city of Escondido. They're planning condominiums. So that just became apparent, and only through a public records request. Nobody in meetings over the last year has shared that information. So this is quite disturbing that the public is just left in the dark, and that is the way that this rolls. So with that, I have further comments that I would like to speak under item 5C, and I thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Teddy, for your comments. All right, we are now on to the consent items, which are items 5A through 5K. And this is
Make a motion, we.
very good. We have a motion to move the consent items. Second. Okay.
Chair Becker, do you want to pull 5C at the request of the speaker?
Or can we just take the public comment right now, or?
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Go ahead and speak on your item 5C. Teddy, are you still there?
Resetting it.
Okay. Teddy, are you there for 5C?
Unmute. There it is. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. You want me to speak on that now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, LAFCO commissioners. My name is Teddy Jackson. I represent Protect Rural Escondido. I'm speaking for hundreds of neighbors who have joined our organization and our cause, and who feel as though the community they chose to live in and raise their families is being dismissed and slowly erased by the city of Escondido and potentially by LAFCO. People don't move to the unincorporated Escondido by accident. They chose it for larger lots, horses, other animals, gardens, mature trees, wildlife, starry skies, and the peace that comes with rural living. Our roads were not designed for urban levels of traffic. We have no sidewalks. We have limited infrastructure and a documented history of serious accidents and deaths on the pinched site of State Route 78. This is a rural residential community whose character depends on space, quiet, and a meaningful transition between the urban city core and the surrounding rural properties. The Aldea Escondido proposal would introduce an approximately, what we know right now, 18-fold or more increase to density immediately across from the historically and culturally significant neighborhoods of Park Hill, Birch Avenue, and Idaho. This is not balanced growth. It is an attempt to use annexation to place urban sprawl development in a rural pocket without the roads or services to accommodate it. Hundreds of residents have joined us, and hundreds have signed our opposition. We're asking for responsible planning that respects existing neighborhoods and communities with infrastructure limitations and the purpose of rural transition neighborhoods. LAFCO's responsibility is not simply to facilitate municipal expansion, it is to evaluate logical boundaries, orderly growth, service capacity, and protection of affected communities. We respectfully ask you to closely scrutinize this proposed annexation, reject strip or finger annexation tactics, and ensure that rural residents are not sacrificed for development that belongs in an appropriately planned urban area and alters a rural neighborhood forever. We want homes. We want balanced growth. This project is neither. We appreciate your time today, and we hope you will help us protect the safety and integrity and the rural character of unincorporated Southeast Escondido. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any discussion or comments on consent items? Yes, Commissioner Delaney.
Yes, I would like to say that I agree with what she said. I think we need to be very cautious about, building large scale density projects such as this without infrastructure. I know in Fallbrook, we're suffering, if you will, the same thing. And I know a lot of it's coming down from the state level. It's kind of taking control away from us, but it's a concern, especially the lack of infrastructure.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Anybody else? We have a motion and a second on the consent items. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Willis,
Aye.
Commissioner McKenzie, Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Delaney.
Yes.
So there are 6 in favor, 0 opposed, with 2 absent. The motion passes.
Thank you. All right. Item 6A is our public hearing. It's the proposed sphere actions, City of Carlsbad, Carlsbad MWD, and City of Oceanside, and it's an action item. Do any of the commissioners have any ex parte communications they'd like to disclose? Seeing none, we'll ask staff to present.
Thank you.
There she is.
Yes, good morning, Chair Becker and Commissioners. Michaela Peters, Analyst 2 for the record. So the item before you today covers the proposed sphere of influence actions involving the City of Carlsbad, the Carlsbad Municipal Water District, and correspondingly the City of Oceanside, which I will further explain in a moment. So the recommended actions consist of 2 related components. First, staff recommends updating the spheres of influence for the City of Carlsbad and the Carlsbad Municipal Water District without change. And second, staff recommends establishing a corresponding special study area affecting the spheres of influence of the City of Carlsbad, the Carlsbad Municipal Water District, and the City of Oceanside. So by way of background, government code requires LAFCO to review and, as appropriate, update the spheres of influence for cities and special districts. As you know, spheres of influence represent the Commission's determination regarding an agency's appropriate and probable future jurisdictional boundary and service area, and serve as the principal planning framework for future boundary changes and out-of-agency service extensions. So the recommendations before the Commission are based on the Municipal Service Review, which was approved in June, which evaluated the governance, financial condition, service capacity, and future service needs of the City of Carlsbad and the Carlsbad Municipal Water District. So consistent with the findings of that review, staff has not identified any changed circumstances that would warrant comprehensive sphere amendments at this time. Both agencies continue to demonstrate the capacity to provide municipal services, and the existing sphere designations remain appropriate. Accordingly, staff recommends reaffirming both spheres without modification. So reaffirming Carlsbad sphere also carries forward the special study area established in 2008, covering approximately 374 acres in the Rancho Santa Fe community and shared with the City of Encinitas' sphere. And this action fulfills the Commission's statutory review obligation while continuing its longstanding policy supporting orderly and infill-oriented growth. The second recommendation is the establishment of 1 new special study area with 3 sub-areas identified through the Municipal Service Review where jurisdictional boundaries and service relationships do not align. As a reminder, the proposed designation does not modify any jurisdictional boundaries, transfer service responsibilities, or predetermine future Commission action. Rather, the purpose of the special study area is to recognize locations where future jurisdictional consideration may be appropriate, should the affected agencies determine that a reorganization would better align land use authority with municipal service responsibilities. Establishing the proposed special study area is meant to encourage continued dialogue between the cities of Carlsbad and Oceanside regarding whether future jurisdictional adjustments could improve long-term service coordination and governance. Should the affected agencies express mutual interest in pursuing such a reorganization, the designation would allow the Commission to consider concurrent sphere amendments and jurisdictional changes without requiring preparation of a new municipal service review. So the proposed special study area encompasses approximately 123 acres along and near the State Route 78 corridor, divided into 3 sub-areas as shown on the screen. Collectively, these areas include lands that are either within the city of Oceanside, but are more naturally aligned with the city of Carlsbad, or are within the city of Carlsbad, but more closely associated with the city of Oceanside. So for example, the former inns at Buena Vista Creek proposal in sub-area C, a 3-hotel development that is no longer active, provides a useful illustration of this circumstance. Although roughly 80% of the project site was located within the city of Oceanside, the proposal contemplated water and wastewater service from Carlsbad agencies, emergency response primarily from the city of Carlsbad, and site access only through the shops at Carlsbad. So this circumstance highlights the potential disconnect that can occur when land use authority and municipal service responsibilities are divided between jurisdictions. And as for comments, this item has been noticed as a public hearing consistent with statute. And while no comments were received ahead of the publication of the agenda report, staff did receive one subsequent written comment, a letter from the city of Oceanside expressing support for establishing this special study area. The letter has been posted to the website and copies have been distributed to the commission on the dais. So with all of the above noted, staff recommends the commission open up the hearing, take any testimony, and close the hearing and take up the recommendations as outlined in the agenda report and anchored by adopting the draft resolution that would do all of the following. Update without change the spheres of influence for the city of Carlsbad and Carlsbad Municipal Water District. Establish the proposed special study area affecting the spheres of influence of the city of Carlsbad, the Carlsbad Municipal Water District, and the city of Oceanside. Make a general rule exemption finding under State CEQA Guidelines, Section 15061B3, and direct the executive officer to administratively record the sphere actions following the exemption of the 30-day or the expiration of the 30-day reconsideration period. So that concludes my presentation, and staff is available for any questions.
Thank you, Michaela. We'll open the public hearing and go to public comment. Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
Very good. All right, close the public hearing, and any commissioner discussion, comments?
I do make a motion that we go with the staff recommendation.
Very good. Call for the vote.
Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Willis,
Aye.
Commissioner McKenzie, Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Delaney.
Yes.
So there's 6 in favor, 0 opposed, with 2 absent. The motion passes.
Good, thank you. We're on to our second public hearing, item 6B, Turner Oak Drive Reorganization, Annexation to Lakeside WD, and Detachment from Padre Dam MWD, and it's an action item. Do any of the commissioners have any ex parte disclosures? Seeing none?
We'll ask Joelle to get us going.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Chair Becker, Joelle Burla, Analyst 1 for the record. So today the item before you is a reorganization proposal initiated by resolution from Lakeside Water District involving 2 adjoining parcels totaling 2.37 acres in the unincorporated community of Lakeside. So the proposal follows prior fee waivers approved by the Commission back in December 2025 for its application fees, and Lakeside Water District also for its own annexation charges, and seeks Commission approval for the annexation of the affected territory into Lakeside Water District with concurrent detachment from Padre Dam Municipal Water District. And these actions also necessitate conforming sphere of influence amendments to both subject agencies, which triggers a notice public hearing under LAFCO statute. So beginning with the primary purpose of the proposal, the reorganization requests the extension of public potable water service to the larger parcel, which is 2.32 acres, which is outlined, I know it's very tiny, but outlined here in orange, and it's at 10780 Oak Creek Drive, owned by Alan Turner. The parcel is currently undeveloped and is proposed for future single-family residence. So although it currently lies within the Padre Dam Municipal Water District, a water connection is not readily available and would be cost prohibited. So by contrast, Lakeside Water District has nearby infrastructure and sufficient capacity to serve the property without adversely affecting its existing customers. The proposal also includes a second, much smaller parcel, but for a different purpose. So the second parcel is 0.05 acres. It's outlined in red. Apologies, I know it's very small. And that address is at 10784 Oak Creek Drive, and it's owned by George Ucana, and it's included as a boundary enhancement. Specifically, it already incorporates the backyard of his existing single-family residence just northeast of these parcels, and it already lies within Lakeside Water District and receiving service. So thereby, we're just improving the logical configuration of the district boundary. So these different purposes are also reflected in the timing of the request. For Mr. Turner's 2.32 acre parcel, the reorganization is for the immediate purpose of securing public potable water service in advance of his planned single-family residence, which is consistent with the county's semi-rural residential zoning designation. Mr. Ucana's 0.05 acre parcel, by contrast, has no planned development and is included solely as a boundary enhancement to align with the district's boundary with the existing property configuration. Because the proposal transfers territory from Padre Dam Municipal Water District to Lakeside Water District, conforming sphere of influence amendments are also required. So here, as shown on the screen, you can see the affected territory outlined in some of the red is contiguous to Lakeside Water District's jurisdictional boundary and sphere of influence, and is currently within Padre Dam's boundary and sphere, here shown as yellow. Now, turning to LAFCO staff's evaluation of the proposal, staff has independently confirmed that Lakeside can readily serve the proposed development as it has an existing distribution main roughly 10 feet from the property line. Staff also confirmed that Lakeside Water District has adequate financial resources and related administrative controls to provide retail water service to the affected territory without materially affecting existing operations or service levels. And finally, the proposal provides an additional public benefit. By extending regulated public drinking water services to this area is an environmental justice benefit, as this community has been identified as having higher levels of drinking level water contaminants, as detailed in the agenda report. So based on these findings, given the limited scope of service impacts to this proposal, staff believes it's appropriate for the commission to proceed without a new MSR to inform the sphere of influence amendments to Lakeside Water District and Padre Dam Municipal Water District that would otherwise be required under policy L106. So this brings us to our set of recommendations for the reorganization proposal. So first, we recommend adopting the resolution conditionally approving the reorganization proposal along with sphere of influence amendments to Lakeside Water District and Padre Dam Municipal Water District. Second, waive the MSR requirement under policy L106 due to limited scope of the sphere amendments. Third, waive protest proceedings under Government Code Section 56662. And fourth, find the reorganization and related sphere amendments exempt from CEQA under sections 15320 and 15061B3. And before I turn it back, I also just want to acknowledge that Mr. Brett Sanders, the general manager of Lakeside Water District, is here in attendance. So I just wanted to thank him for coming out. And with that, that concludes my presentation. I'll turn it back to Chair Becker, and we're here for any questions.
Thank you, Joelle. All right, we'll open the public hearing and go to public comment. We have Brett Sanders up first.
Good morning, LAFCO commissioners. It's a pleasure to come see you and be able to support this project in person. Has been a kind of a long process, but we've had great assistance from staff here. Joelle, I really appreciate all the effort to bring it to this point, especially the commissioners back in the decision in December. Our board has supported this all along as well. It was a unique kind of boundary layout that kind of isolated Mr. Turner's property. And I appreciate the effort of the commission to correct that. And I'm here in support of the board support for the resolution and bringing in Mr. Tunner's property into the Lakeside Water District. So, thank you.
Thanks for coming down today.
Well, thank you.
I don't see any public comment online, so we'll close the public hearing and go to comments, commissioner comments, motion.
Let's make a motion that we do the step.
Good. Second. I think Delaney got it first. All right, we'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Willis,
Aye.
Commissioner McKenzie, Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Delaney.
Yes.
So 6 in favor, 0 opposed, with 2 absent. The motion passes.
Thank you. All right, we're going to turn to our business calendar, item 7A, and this is the outside audit report on fiscal year 2025, and this is an action item. Turn it over to Mr. Simons.
Thank you, Chair. So I'll go ahead and take this item on behalf of staff, and in particular, Erica, who oversees our books, as well as help from Brittany Ruiz, our new outside bookkeeper. But before the commission is a outside audit report on fiscal year 25. Granted, it's been a little late in getting to you, but I'll explain why in just a second. But the good news, Commission, is it is a clean check-in on our financial statements. So everything that we prepared and that the outside auditor, Davis Farr, out of Irvine, looked at, attested that we are who we say we were financially. So that means, Commission, your fund balance did adjust downward up on the screen by about 130,000 to 1.5, a little almost $1.6 million. Now that adjustment, of course, was planned as part of the commission's effort going into fiscal year 25. You did allocate about $70,000 in fund balance to offset agency appropriations, and then during the fiscal year, you amended the budget to increase that apportionment to about 163,000. So the fact that we only dropped 129 was reflective of the commission and your staff doing some cost cutting before the end of the fiscal year occurred. Now your net position did go down a little bit more. So you started the fiscal year 25 with a restatement at about 41,000 in red, and you drop down to about 65,000 in red. But now keep in mind, unlike all of your home agencies where you have assets and capital infrastructure to make up on your asset side, LAFCO is capital asset free. So that amount that you see up on the screen, that's negative 65,000, that's just simply a fact of the actuarial taking into account our life expectancies and applying some pension adjustments. So I just have a couple of maps or illustrations here just to give some context. So on the screen, you can see how your fund balance has reacted over the last 11 years back to 2015, when I believe only Commissioner McKenzie was here. By and all, your fund balance has stayed within a pretty narrow margin. So that's good news. Again, it's been going down a little bit this year, and it will go down again when you get fiscal year 26 audit. But that again is this kind of policy determination on the dais to use your reserves as offsetting revenues. Going into fiscal year 26, though, the commission did make a decision to stop the practice, at least in the interim. So I think the goal is we'll start moving that number back up going forward. And then this next slide just shows your net position and a couple of the seminal moments. Most notably, every so often, SD Sarah, which is our pension holder, or the County of San Diego, which has the other post-employment benefits, will periodically readjust their accrual assumptions, and that's why some of the numbers in given years jump. Again, we don't have any assets or really any liabilities outside of pension or other post-employment. So that gives you some context to why the net position moves as it does. So all that said, this is a clean audit. It was delayed in getting to you simply because this was the first year we were using a new outside audit firm, and then more substantively, towards the end of calendar year 25, we did switch bookkeepers, and they needed to get caught up in understanding our unique relationship commission, not only being independent, but being connected to the hub of the County of San Diego's finances. So that does take a learning curve. So up on the screen, you see our recommended actions highlighted by formally receiving the outside audit before you, as well as the two correspondence. I did want to note, and I jumped over this unconsciously, but nevertheless, there were two misstatements that the outside auditor did note in our statements, but they were immaterial, so they didn't make any changes. They involved two transactions totaling $12,500. Those will resolve themselves in fiscal year 26, but that is in the record. And essentially, there was a payroll tax issue for $10,000 that we tried to sneak in fiscal year 25, as well as a $2,500 invoice, and those again will now be applied to fiscal year 26. But I do note that for the record. That said, recommendations are up on the screen. Be happy to answer any questions. And if there are any substantive questions beyond me or Erica, we can always bring the outside auditor to your next meeting if you have questions for them. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. It's good to have a clean audit. Do we have any public comment? I don't see any online or here. All right. Any commissioner comments, questions?
So approve the recommended alternative A, which is to receive the items before you.
Make a motion.
Good. Do we have a second? Okay. Do you have a comment too? Or are you going to? Very good.
So, Dean, I was wondering. So thank you, Commissioner Anderson. This is the first year that we're using Davis Farr, and it was a one-year contract, and it was actually engendered by your comments about a year ago, because we had used the prior auditor for about 6 years in a row. Very good. And I'll just say, just for the record, and thank you, Commissioner Anderson, we are actually going to use Davis Farr now for another 5-year stretch, but that's as a result of our alliance of local agency formation commissions with Chair Becker participating. We have grouped up and did a group RFP, and Davis Farr happened to be the winner of that. So you will see Davis Farr next year as well. 4 years, yes.
Right, we have a motion and a second. Let's call for the vote.
Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Willis,
Aye.
Commissioner McKenzie, Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Delaney.
Aye.
So there are 6 in favor, 0 opposed, 2 absent. The motion passes.
Thank you. All right, let's turn to 7B. This is the proposed update to the rolling 5-year study schedule, and this is an action item, and turn that over to Mr. Simons.
And to Priscilla.
Yes, thank you, Chair Becker, and good morning, Commissioners. Priscilla Mumpower, Assistant Executive Officer. Before the Commission today, as noted, is an update to your rolling 5-year study schedule, otherwise the municipal service reviews that are calendared. It is today for action, with staff recommending your approval, subject to any changes desired by the Commission. As in prior years, the update advances the planning horizon by 1 year. So we're shifting from fiscal year 26 to 2030 to fiscal year 27 to 2031. It also incorporates refinements based on recently completed studies, prior Commission direction, as well as some evolving service delivery models that I will make note of later in the presentation. However, the overall framework remains unchanged. So the first 2 years continue to be somewhat of an implementation window where we have all of the authorized and funded studies that are reflected in the adopted work plan, while years 3 through 5 continue to be a telegraphing tool or a long-range planning tool, where we notice affected agencies and the public of what's on our radar and what we believe will be authorized as part of future work plans. The schedule also serves an important planning tool in that we are scheduling studies that inform statutorily required sphere of influence updates. And this study helps to sequence that work. So with that context in mind, I'd like to walk you through what is continuing, what is changing, and what we have planned for later years. So turning first to these 2 years up on the screen, these are your authorized and funded studies. So you'll note that many of these studies are rolling forward from prior fiscal years, but I do note through either striking out or through the orange boxes what has changed. So first you'll see that we have removed the Carlsbad portion of the Carlsbad and Encinitas Region Municipal Service Review. And this is consistent with the commission adopting that final MSR at your June meeting, and you just took action today to do those subsequent sphere of influence updates. And then you'll also see that in strikeout, we have the wholesale water services review, where the commission gave staff direction to suspend that work and instead reprogram it in later years, which you'll see on separate slides. We've also expanded the healthcare services review. We continue our review of healthcare districts, which you see in part 1, but in that orange box, you see that staff is now recommending part 2, and that being focused on the quasi-public providers, including Sharp San Diego, UC San Diego, and other community providers. And I want to note that we recognize that these agencies or organizations are not subject to LAFCO, but we'd like to do a review given that their roles are important to understanding the broader service environments in which the healthcare districts are operating within. And then third, we are expanding to include other reviews. So the City of San Diego, consistent with commission direction, has also been added within the implementation window. And then we've also added part 2 of the special districts, involving the special district within the South Coast region. So we had already included part 1, the cities of Chula Vista and City of National City. And so including the special districts is just to coordinate the timing of completing these reviews within this subregion. This slide just goes over those same refinements that I had already verbally gone through, but again, removing Carlsbad subregion, splitting and reprogramming the wholesale water services review, expanding the healthcare study, advancing the City of San Diego and South Coast Part 2, and then to accommodate all of the changes that you see in those first 4 bullets to the right, we've shifted 4 regional reviews: the Rancho Santa Fe region, Wastewater Joint Powers Authority, the Silver Strand cities, and the Public Transit Services reviews. And these weren't authorized studies, but we are shifting them back 1 year, consistent with the rolling study schedule. So this brings us to the implementation or the long-range planning window. So that's fiscal year 29 to 2031. So again, we've shifted some reviews, but then also in fiscal year 29, we've expanded in advance the cemetery services review. And by how we've expanded the cemetery services review, so previously we had just committed to focusing on the cemetery districts, but we're expanding to also include other, and that being consistent with recent state legislation where there is this push to have local governments take over private cemetery districts that have been abandoned. And so in sort of seeing that that may be something that comes to fruition, we want to make sure that our study schedule also reflects this. On this next slide, you see the final years. And so again, we've reprogrammed the studies and split them up. So instead of 1 wholesale water service review, you see that Metropolitan Water District of Southern California is tackled as part of fiscal year 2030. And then we've calendared the review of the County Water Authority onto fiscal year 2031. And then we've also added a review, just given a blind spot and recognizing that we hadn't included it, just a review of mosquito abatement and vector services, and that's in that blue box there. So overall, staff finds that these changes remain consistent with the Commission's sphere of influence responsibilities and can be accommodated within existing resources, and then also respond to some evolving service delivery models, and that is noted in the healthcare services expansion and the cemetery services expansion. Staff also believes that consideration and later programming of the wholesale water review is appropriate, given that the sphere of influence for both agencies at this time is stable for both agencies. And then before closing, I just wanted to touch on some outreach. So consistent with past practice, we did do this same presentation of the proposed update to the Special Districts Advisory Committee at their July 17th meeting. You'll see the minutes as part of this agenda and as part of the consent calendar. The committee did not raise any objections and did not pass along any recommended changes. The City's Advisory Committee did not align, their next meeting doesn't align with the meeting today. However, their meeting does take place in September, and we'll go ahead and share with them if the commission approves this update today. And if they do have any changes that are being requested or recommendations, we'll be sure to provide those to the commission for your consideration. And so with that, I'll conclude my presentation and am open to any questions.
Good. Thank you, Priscilla. All right, there's no public comment that I see online or in person, but we do have some commissioner comments. I think Vice Chair Willis, you were up first.
Okay, just to confirm for the record, Priscilla, the healthcare districts are going to be completed or scheduled to be completed by 2027?
Yes.
February roughly? Or?
So we don't mean in January, and I anticipate as early as March.
All right, Commissioner
Yes.
McKenzie.
I'll talk about the hospital district. Considering that Palomar, which I'm part in their district, have a lot of newspaper articles and indicating how great this they've got a district, but now that they're to have that JPA.
Not necessarily. So one of the items that we have been discussing as the commission, especially those commissioners who are here in 21, maybe 22, is there's this ongoing issue with hospital districts, and in this case, Palomar, but perhaps others providing services outside their jurisdictional boundary. And how does that work with LAFCO's duty and statute to oversee outside service arrangements, right? Which is it's not a discretionary task of the commission. That's what the legislature tells you to do. So we are actively trying to get a handle on that practice and the scope of it. And it will be part of the MSR that we roll forward. So to go back to the question that Commissioner McKenzie asked or brought up, that is on our minds, definitely. And it goes both ways, right? So how does it relate to, everything from acute care to, just office visits? And council is certainly part of those discussions. So more to come.
Made some change we have a list, but it also has pending and working on. What's our time frame to let people, let
The question is how do we roll out the communication from the point the commission readopts a study schedule? I'll ask Priscilla to talk about, how we go about engaging the members.
So we send an email communication to the affected agencies with a study schedule that's included within today's agenda packet. And then we'll go ahead and post on our website as well. And then importantly, once the studies are actually authorized and funded through the adopted work plan, then they definitely receive notice from us in the sense that we're now engaging them more often and introducing ourselves in terms of we're going to begin a data collection process and kind of walk them through what an MSR process looks like and what they can expect from staff. But that more formal meeting happens once it's authorized and funded, given that there are usually shifts in the schedule. We do definitely offer those presentations to the board. And if we are invited by their staff, then we do present at their board meetings.
Thank you.
Yes.
Commissioner Delaney.
I just have a question. So I'm going to talk about Fallbrook since that's where I'm from. A lot of residents go to Scripps, and I'm wondering how these district changes or boundaries or whatever would affect care of those residents that go to Scripps. I know it's in Oceanside, I guess. There's some off-site, if you will, medical centers, but how does that work? Am I making sense?
No, you're making sense, and you're highlighting, a variable. Scripps is a little different because it's purely, a nonprofit outside of LAFCO's oversight. But the point would be, it's where does LAFCO determine the point of service? Let's just say Scripps was a healthcare district, or let's use Palomar Tri-City. Is the point of service in the physical facility, or is it, at an adjacent facility that perhaps is an office or someplace? This is all a variable for us in understanding. Most counties have a single healthcare district, so it's not as a complicated question, which is usually countywide. For example, Marin. Well, here you have 4. And then you have unserved, unincorporated area with no healthcare district. So all of it is a good reason why staff is somewhat slow rolling out this MSR, because we're learning a lot as we go along. And of course, just the fundamental governance changes that occurred with Tri-City and Palomar over the last year caused staff to press pause and re-review what we had already said, and now trying to make sense of the new world order there. So I would imagine we'll have more than one hearing on this because of those kind of questions, Commissioner Delaney, and trying to understand, as Commissioner McKenzie, point of service and where does LAFCO's responsibilities come in without being unnecessarily bureaucratic.
Thank you.
To that MSR. And all right, we're ready for a motion
Make a
to
motion.
adopt staff recommendation.
Make a motion that we do.
Good. Oh, we have another Commissioner Drake. Okay, do we have a second? I'll second that. You're up.
Thank you, Chair Becker. Just want to make a comment about page 279 in the report. And the second big bullet there is studies completed or reprogrammed. I think this is reprogrammed for the water wholesalers in the same sense of an airstrike. We've pushed off the MSR into next decade. And these should not be called reviews. They should be called apologies or requiem masses, or just a list of regrets that we're going to have, because we're going to push back 4 years the time it's going to take to respond to the changes in our water system. This last week, the federal government is starting to raise its hand to say, no, we're going to make a decision for you. We don't know what else is going to happen. We don't know what Mother Nature is going to hand us. What we've handed ourselves here is a failure to do our duty as a public agency for the benefit of the citizens of San Diego County. We're holding this off. Now, I have great confidence in Dan Dunham and Dave Edwards and confidence in the Met that they're doing better. They're trying to take action, but we're not helping them out in this process. And I think by doing this delay, we are doing ourselves and our citizens a disservice. Thank you.
Commissioner Delaney.
To add to that, my concern is this: what if we have another district that says that they want us to continue their MSR as well? How are we going to justify yes or no based on what we've just done with the water authority?
Thank you for those comments. All right, we have a motion and a second. Let's call for the vote.
Commissioner Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Willis,
Aye.
Commissioner McKenzie, Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Delaney.
Yes.
There's 6 in favor, 0 opposed, with 2 absent. The motion passes.
All right, we have a closed session, and so we will go ahead and adjourn for that right now.
Wait, before we do it,
Okay.
I want to make, let me give a mouthful of recitations for the Brown Act purpose. We're adjourning into closed session under Government Code Section 54956.9, Subdivision D3, which is an opportunity for the commission to determine if significant exposure to litigation exists. And to be clear for the public and the record, that if the commission does determine significant exposure exists, then it's anticipated that it will continue into closed session under Section 54956.9 D2. And if that is in fact what happens, this will be reported out of closed session so the public is aware of it. And this is based on a written letter sent on behalf of the Lower Sweetwater Fire Protection District dated May 27, 2026.
Very good. Thank you for that.
This group would like it better.
All right, we are back from closed session and I will ask our LAFCO legal counsel if we have any reportable action.
Yes, there was reportable action under section 54956.9D3. There was a unanimous vote of the commission to determine that significant exposure to litigation exists. So then it continued into closed session under section 54956.9D2, at which point direction was given to council and there was no reportable action under that subdivision. And again, this is based on a written letter dated May 27, 2026 on behalf of the Lower Sweetwater Fire Protection District. And that letter can be made available upon request.
Thank you very much. All right, let's turn to the executive officer report.
Just a couple things. One is I want to acknowledge and thank Matthew Romero, who's with us in the back. Matthew's a relatively recent college graduate from San Diego State and is interested in exploring potential roles in local government and wanted to shadow LAFCO staff today. And so we appreciate Matthew's interest, and certainly he's been a nice companion to get to know. And then with the chair's consent, we are going to go ahead and formally cancel the next meeting that was kind of placehold for September. So no meeting in September. Next meeting will be October. That is all.
Very good. All right, are there any commissioner announcements or requests for future items?
What is the status of the alliance?
Priscilla.
We have been actively meeting. We're holding quarterly meetings at this time. We've been working with council on developing bylaws, articles of incorporation, given direction that we were good to explore the creation of a nonprofit. And so we are going to be meeting with them, I think in the first 2 weeks of September, if I'm not mistaken, or first 2 weeks of August. So we're already in August. Goodness. Yes, in the next 2 weeks, we'll be meeting. And then the legislative committee of the Alliance is definitely active. We meet once a month.
So everything is definitely going forward?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Very good. All right, that brings me to, yes, I'm sorry, Commissioner McKenzie.
Sorry, I didn't use my card.
Noticed.
I didn't.
Darn.
As last I heard, CalAFCO is now evolving into a discussion of their fees. And so we're paying attention from the sideline, and we'll let them figure that part out. But we know that Fresno has also left the association as well. So they're losing more members than they're gaining. But Current is still out. Orange, San Bernardino, Marin. I think Marin. Napa definitely is. Yeah. San Bernardino, Orange, and San Diego are all out. But we will, if there's news to report, we will certainly bring that to the commission.
Good, thank you.
Yes, Michelle McIntyre.
All right. I would like to adjourn today's meeting of the San Diego LAFCO in memory of Bill Horn, who dedicated decades of his life to public service in San Diego County. As a member of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors representing District 5 and as a LAFCO commissioner from 1995 to 2018, Bill's steady leadership and deep commitment to our region left a lasting impact on the communities he served. He will be remembered fondly, and our thoughts are with his family and loved ones. A celebration of life will be held on August 22nd at 10 a.m., and anyone interested in attending can contact staff for details. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned until October 5th.